To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis comfier in the pool to drift with the assistance of outrageous fashion, or to remove from my arms a pair of floaties and by refusing submerge. To dive? To sink? No more. And by a sink, to say we end the dryness and the 1,000-degree heat that flesh is burned by. 'Tis a relaxation devoutly to be wished. To dive? To sink? To sink, perchance to wrinkle. Aye, there's the rub. For in that chlorinated water what wrinkles may come, when we have shuffled off that diving board must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long a swim.
Just talk about the play. What is this weird bit that you're doing?
It's called a parody self-criticism, Narwhal, and people will think it's funny. People think that Lion King was inspired by this play.
To be fair, it kind of was.
At least in terms of the basic plot. The story is about a prince whose uncle murders his father and steals his crown. Timon and Pumbaa never plan to have Simba murdered by a foreign government. They just, sing songs about bugs and stuff. Hamlet is the Prince of Denmark and next in line to be king. But after his father's mysterious death, his uncle, Claudius, marries his mother, Gertrude, and steals the crown. Hamlet, as you might expect, is less than thrilled about this. You know, I think my uncle might be a bad guy. Also, did someone leave leftovers in the fridge? Because I think they might have gone bad. Hamlet's friend Horatio takes him out ghost hunting, but the ghost turns out to be Hamlet's dead father. And supposedly, the ghost of Hamlet's father was originally played by Shakespeare himself. So there you go, there's a fun fact. You can take that to the fun fact bank, enjoy it, deposit it, start a new account for fun facts. Hamlet's father tells him that Claudius definitely murdered him and stole his crown. Wow, my uncle really seems like a bad guy, but I better make sure. How do you plan to do that? Through the power of the theater! Hamlet begins preparing a staged reenactment of his father's murder, hoping to use it to gain some insight on Claudius. Hamlet's behavior catches Claudius's attention, and he begins trying to keep tabs on his nephew. He hires Hamlet's friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to keep an eye on him, and he confides in his buddy Polonius. Polonius' son Laertes is abroad in France, but his daughter Ophelia has started something of a romantic relationship with Hamlet. Polonius and Claudius send Ophelia to meet with Hamlet, and hide behind some curtains to observe him. He speaks in riddles and rants at her, before telling her to get thee to a nunnery. Oh hey, that's almost the title of this show. Hamlet pretends to be crazy to distract Claudius from his true intentions. And before long, it's time for Hamlet's play. Hey, wait a minute, I've seen this play before. 2 stars, I'm out of here. Okay, now that one was really suspicious. I think he's a bad guy. Hamlet finds Claudius praying, and decides he can't kill him yet, because if he killed him mid-prayer, then he would get to go to heaven. Man, it's a good thing no one came up and killed me just now, because I was doing a really bad job praying. Hamlet visits his mother in her room, where Polonius is hiding behind some curtains because that's what Polonius does. I hate that my father died. I hate that my uncle became the king. I hate that you married him, and I hate these curtains. Oh, there was a guy in there. Oops. Anyway, I'm gonna go talk to my dad's ghost. I'll see you later. Bye! By the way, this seems like a good time to talk about how you can put perspective to your advantage. By making strong choices, you can help the audience see the world from a character's point of view. Maybe for that scene in the bedroom, spend some time focusing only on Polonius and his response to the conversation he's overhearing. Or when Hamlet sees his father's ghost, have all the other characters kind of fade into the background. Just something to think about. Claudius sends Hamlet off to England with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, with orders to have Hamlet executed upon their arrival. He then has to confront an angry Laertes, and together they witness Ophelia slowly descending into madness. Hamlet's only gone for a few scenes though. He returns to Denmark assisted by pirates who abducted him from his ship, and then they brought him back to Denmark? Okay. He also made a plan to get rid of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, but I can't focus on that right now because I'm still confused how pirates are involved. Horatio and Hamlet reunite at a graveyard where they find the skull of a jester that Hamlet knew as a child. Oh no, Yorick, he was the best. He'd give me piggyback rides. Man, that's a real downer. Oh, it appears that Ophelia is also dead as well. Oh, man, I'm really sad about my sister being dead. Well, I'm sadder than you are. Let's fight about it. They arrange to have a fencing match, and Claudius plans to get rid of Hamlet for good. Either he'll die from the poison that Laertes will put on his sword, or he'll die from the poison that Claudius will put in his drink. Also, this really doesn't have much to do with the story, I just love this detail. A bunch of the characters talk about how bad of a fencer Hamlet used to be. The fight is just as tense, but a bunch of the characters stand back and say like, hey, remember when he used to be really bad at this? And I just love that. They fight and Hamlet does pretty well. However, Laertes does manage to get a hit with his poisoned sword. In the scuffle, they switch blades, and Hamlet manages to stab Laertes with the poison as well. At the same time, Queen Gertrude decides that she's really thirsty right now and takes a drink from the poisoned cup of wine. So it turns out you are a bad guy, I knew it! Laertes dies, Gertrude dies, Hamlet stabs Claudius and Claudius dies, then Hamlet dies too. Then a messenger shows up and tells everyone that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are also dead. Then Tom Stoppard yells that he has a great idea and runs out of the room. And then a Norwegian army shows up, and their leader Fortinbras is like, wow, did we miss something? And Horatio's like, yeah, you did. Hamlet is famous because Hamlet is just a good play. Good speeches, a strong sense of tension, and a satisfying payoff at the end. There's not much more to say about it, except that if you're like me and pretty much everyone's English teacher and you enjoy this, well, I'll feel ya.
Was that?
Yes, self-criticism, Narwhal, yes, that was a pun.
Gross.